Almost anyone can benefit by setting up a personal tax-free retirement plan. We have set up small cases, large cases, and we had one client put in $20 million into the plan. A couple of years ago, we even had one where they put in almost $50 million going into the plan as a lump sum. Now, we've worked with NFL football players, Major League Baseball players, and some major stars in the entertainment industry. We specialize in setting up these plans. We're rather boutique-ish, and all that experience is also applied to plans that start with 100 or maybe $500 a month. So 100 or 500, they get the same experience level that the $20 million plans do. So today's presentation is going to focus on the most popular policy used for these plans, and that's going to be our IUL. So right here you can see that these plans are going to be focused on the IUL basics presentation. The IUL is an indexed universal life policy. We want to make it easy and tax-free retirement plan. It's going to be stress-free for most people, and we want this to be something that you can go ahead and understand pretty quickly and easily. So let's get going on this. One of the things we want to accomplish right now is to go over why this tax-free is gaining such popularity right now, because a lot of people really think that the tax rates in 5 or 10 years, they really don't know what they're going to be. So why do some people believe that tax rates will rise in the future? Well, let's take a look at the past to see if we can get kind of an answer to that question. Are we due for a big tax hike? You can see here in this illustration that historically, tax rates have been over 80% or 85% at some times. So what we want to do is make sure that whenever we talk to people, we really don't know what taxes are going to be like in 5 to 10 years, but that's why tax-free retirement is so important to a lot of different people right now, because these rates didn't even include health care. So if they charge for health care next, these rates, that's why they're really concerned about these rates going up. Okay, so let's take a look at the plan. IUL Basics presentation is going to go over some of the simplicities of the policy and some of the details. Here we are with an example of a 33-year-old male. Preferred non-tobacco. Your situation, of course, is going to be completely different than this one here, because there's many different variables and things change. But in this case here, this individual put in $500 a month. Now you can see right here that this individual has been in the plan for 32 years, and at age 64, that's when they stopped making those payments of $500 a month for a total of $6,000 a year. So let's take a closer look at that. Right here, you can see that the total amount put in over those 32 years to age 64 was $192,000. Well, one of the amazing things about this is that he starts taking loans against the policy. That's where the tax-free retirement comes from. These loans against the policy at a rate of, you can see right here, $67,394. Well, after 3 years, you can see he's pulled out over $200,000. Now, he's actually pulled out more money than he's put in. So really, he has no skin in the game at all at this point in time, got all his money back, and if he were to pass away at age 67, the death benefit's still over $700,000. That's $700,000 of tax-free income, death benefit going to the individual family members, the kids, grandkids, their wife, the spouses, and everybody else. So I want to understand, $200,000 has been pulled out of the policy, got no skin in the game, a death benefit over $700,000. Now that's if the individual passed away at age 67. What if they lived? Well, let's take a look at that. You can see that right here at age 72, remember, we still have that $192,000. We're not putting any more money in. They're going to be getting over $500,000 of additional income up to age 72. That's almost $40,000. It's almost $540,000 of tax-free income, and that's to age 72. Down here at age 82, if they were to go ahead and get the total amount, remember they still only have the $192,000, but if they continue to pull money out of this policy, they're at $1.2 million. That's $1.2 million of tax-free income to the client. Now, remember, at age 72, if they were to pass away, then we still have a death benefit of almost $600,000. That's a death benefit of almost $600,000. They've already pulled out, a considerable amount of money, $540,000, let's say, for $1.1 million complete tax-free benefit out of the policy. Now, if they live to age 82, of course, If they died at 82, they pulled out 1.2 million. They have a death benefit of 425,000. That's a total benefit of 1.6 million dollars of total tax-free benefit to the client. Now, that in and of itself is awesome, but now it gets even better. Some policies, like this one here, has a rider on it built into it for long-term care expenses. So if this individual at age 72, right here at 72, were to need long-term some money pulled out money for long-term care expenses, you can see that in this case, half of the death benefit is going to be available for long-term care. That's going to be almost $300,000. It's going to be available for long-term care expenses. And at 82, if somebody were to need money out of the policy, they have a death benefit of 425, so they still have over $200,000 bucket of money. They can take that as a lump sum, or they can go ahead and take that on monthly payments. So this is the plan that a lot of people don't know about. Tax-free retirement is awesome for them. This is on the IUL basics. Now we're going to get into a little more into the weeds, so to speak, because we need to know, well, how does this really happen? So this is the illustration. We're using hypothetical returns by strategy. Every policy is going to have different strategies. So let's take a look at this one here. They have the select strategies here, and they have what's known as cap rates. That's going to be the 11.5. These are cap rates. That's the maximum amount, and we're using the S&P 500 that they can be credited that year. Now, the other important thing is the illustration rate. This is at 6.84%. Now, at 6.84%, compare that to the cap rate of 11.5. Let's look back historically as to how this looks for the client themselves. Let's look at the last 25 years. This is a 25-year look back. Now, with the 25-year look back, we want to do is we want to see how often we actually hit this 11.5%. Let's take a look. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 out of 25 years, we hit the maximum allowed rate of 11.5%. Even though the rates were, somewhere at 20, somewhere at 30, the maximum that can be credited to the account is 11.5%. But just taking those, the 11.5 out of the 13 years, let's just take those, multiply it out over 25 years, it would average 5.98%. Just taking those 13, that would be the average that they would come up with. If the other years were at 0, so basically the other years, if we look at the 6.84% minus the 5.98, they only have to average 0.86%. So that's 0.86% out of the other 12 years. Now, that seems reasonable, but of course, if we look right here, 1 year has 11.39. Now, just understand, this is a little bit into the weeds, but we're not going to put all the money into the S&P 500 1 year. That's really not the best strategy in this policy. We actually have another policy that does even better, but we didn't even want to look at the opportunity there for how much money they're going to make there, because that's a little outrageous, 23%, 31%, 30%, but those rates are available out there for different clients, and we're going to put at least half of the money here. We only illustrated this at 11.5% cap. These are uncapped strategies. So we put half the money here. Now we can really see how that 6.84, if we look back, it's possible to achieve that looking forward. That's going to be your IUL basics presentation. Remember, we want to make it easy, tax-free. We want less stress for our clients. We want to be able to make sure that you understand the product, where you're at right now, and how this is going to be kind of a really stress minimizer, knowing that in the future you're going to be well taken care of for not only tax-free income, long-term care, and of course legacy purposes.